All right, so I'm Max Juhasz. I run Dope SEO, Cannabiz Marketing Solutions. We do digital marketing, obviously. SEO, we can actually run compliant paid ads. Sorry, that's a mic, I shouldn't touch it. And a bunch of digital marketing for different agencies and we specialize in gray area. So it's all the stuff that most digital marketing agencies offer, but can't really deliver on because they don't understand the space. But it's everything from SEO to social to influencer outreach to ads to content marketing, which is massively huge. If you're looking to get into the space, I do recommend you do the research to actually understand the compliance of what you can and cannot say on your clients' websites. As well as if you're running a business, make sure you understand what you can and cannot say on your own website, because that's where most people get screwed up, and that's where the industry gets. Is anybody easily offended by curse words? Okay, because I curse a lot. So, but that's what's going to fuck the industry if everybody basically starts making claims and doing health claims and all that other stuff. So, we've been in the space now for years. We've helped build a number of companies from 6 figures to 7 figures to multiple 7 figures, and then watch them get sold over and over again. We lose the retainer, and then eventually at the beginning of the year I was like, you know what, we're just focusing on cannabis only, and we're just going out there and doing it. So that's me. Are we running like freestanding businesses or online businesses, or both, or are we just all looking to get into the space? You're mainly online, doing what, CBD D8 stuff, or okay? Anybody else? You run a digital marketing agency, okay? Okay, fair enough. All right, I understand. I've been there. All right, CBD wholesaling. Okay, like a store, like walk-in traffic store, or okay. And you guys? All right. Okay, so we got 2 people here looking to learn. Good. And you run a CBD business? You work for a smoke shop. Okay, so here's what you have to watch out for. Um, yeah, health claims, big no. Absolute health claims are a huge no. And then in regards to if you're posting reviews, you have to curate them, because you can't, like, if somebody says like, oh, this helped me with my pain, you can't use it on your website. You know what I mean? Like, if somebody else is posting it on their own stuff and they're linking back to you, it's a different story, but you cannot make health claims on your own site. Even if it's a third party, somebody said your products are great and it helped them with their whatever, you just can't do it. Like, eventually, this is the thing. This is an emerging space. You know, it's still the Wild West out there. People, you know, and if you've seen it, you can be like, oh, but these guys are doing it. We saw it in CBD back in 2018. We saw it in CBD back in 2019, 2020. There were a lot of companies making a lot of claims, and eventually they all got smacked. And most of them aren't even around anymore. We do have one client who's literally had letters written to him by the FDA for cease and desist, stop making claims like this. And even if you're doing like, oh, the FDA says this, and you're linking back to the FDA, you do have to, because the FDA has a case study that CBD does help, because there are some out there on the FDA website. That's not your batch. That's not your strain. That's not your grow. It's the same thing with COAs. Like, everybody understands what a COA is, right? Okay. Every batch, it's a new COA, right? Every new product, it's a new COA. It's the same thing with claims. It's the same thing with that.
How do you manage that? Like let's say a client comes to you, right? And like, how do you know what they can't say? Like, do you partner with compliance?
Oh, I've got compliance writers. Like, that's the thing. So the writers that we brought in have actually, we pay top dollar for our writers, because they actually go in and they study if it's a state thing, we make sure that we're compliant for the state. If it's a regional thing, we make sure they're compliant for the region. If it's CBD or D8 or whatever, we were just in Virginia last week, and I guess Virginia just banned D8, so we're making some changes on some client sites there. But you do have to understand what can be, obviously, cannabis can't be shipped federally, so, and then there's a lot of merchant issues with stuff. There are some merchants that promise they can do online payments. I haven't found one that works well with a COVA system yet, so I don't recommend anybody yet. But for online sales, you do have to be careful about where you're shipping, where you're offering shipping, where it's being shipped to. And I know some people don't care, but you don't want to be the one that is the example. So that's all I'm saying for that. But yeah, in regards to compliance, like it's really, you have to stay up to date with it. If you're a local business and you're running a local shop, where are you based? Are you based here in Florida or? Okay, so I'm not sure what Florida has yet, but I know like we're doing. We should hopefully launching like we're redoing the website for the Chamber of Cannabis in Vegas, and it's 100 businesses. It's 100 plus businesses, and they're all cannabis industry businesses, and they've actually worked on state legislation. They helped get the consumption lounges laws passed for the first consumption laws. So if you haven't networked with some of the people in this area, like in Florida, to get some legislation done to help streamline your business, I recommend coming together, creating it, joining it, doing whatever. And if there is one, join it, network with the people there. So at least there's some back and forth because there is plenty of room in this growing industry for everybody to eat. This isn't one of these spaces where it's like, it's me only. I think that for this space, you do have to understand that, like, we are the ones setting the pace for this. We are the ones that are creating this, and the money's there. You know what I mean? Like, there are people that got into this just for money. There are other people, and we've met everybody from, I've been growing since Vietnam. I've got 4 teeth. I wear overalls, and I just come in with dirty fingernails and flip-flops to it's like, I don't know. I just grow weed. And I'm like, like I've met them, and they're great. But they're like, I don't know how to. I met a guy that had to burn 300 pounds because he couldn't sell it because he didn't know how to because his whole business was based off of his cell phone on a referral thing, which is scary, But it's also like I don't, And then there's the paranoia around it all. Flip side of that, you've got the corporate money coming in to where we've got a bunch of money. We're doing all this other stuff. Our branding is great, but nobody knows about our brand and we don't know shit about the business. And I think that both sides need to connect. Both sides need to talk and we build it from there because this isn't going anywhere. I'm actually happy that federal's not going to happen for a while. It keeps Amazon out of it. It keeps Walmart out of it. Keeps small businesses in business. And it makes everything more fun, personally. But that's my own personal opinion on that. Do we want to do questions or what are we doing? This is the weirdest panel I've ever been on, guys. Usually there's a moderator. So you guys are going to feed this. Otherwise, I'm just going to go on a coffee-fueled rampage, and Victor's going to chime in every once in a while. So people. Yeah, I mean, mostly it's clients, honestly. It's like, dude, put the pot down and just give me the images or the content that I need. No, but I mean, it really is like sometimes it's compliance. It is because it is an emerging market. Like stuff that was legal or not legal or in legislation or just being passed like 2-3 months ago now passes. Sometimes they drop bombs on you. And you're like, oh shit, we got to change a bunch of stuff on this guy's website or a couple clients' websites. Sometimes it's education, because there's still a stigma depending on where you're at. I think. Were we just talking about like ranking, or are we talking about getting results, or are we talking?
Like I said, just the hardest thing to do, and so yeah, you named quite a few. So among getting people out for saying the wrong thing.
Mm-hmm.
Is it typically state or federal, like FCC or Department of Ag?
Oh, it depends.
All sides?
It depends. Yeah. So I mean, with cannabis, you're dealing with state and you're dealing with federal, and I've met people that are still. And this is the other thing too. Then you've got those idiots on IG that are creating those profiles where we're like, well, hit me up, bro. I'll UPS you 3 pounds, which is just, I get. Some of them play it smart, and some of them just do it blatant, like and then they get. It's bad for the industry, just because But it's a gray area business. Like there's always gonna be a black market for everything. From that standpoint, though, it's I think if you're going to be legit and you plan on being around for a while, play it safe, build your brand, build a following, That's kind of what it is, versus like, hey, we're here for 6 months and then we're going to rebrand and repackage and roll out the new next thing every 6 months, especially with CBD, especially with D8. You see it all the time. Like, we've been doing trade shows and we've worked with people for years now to where it's like, it's the same guys at the booth with different t-shirts, different labels, different brands every 6 months. But that's their game plan. Like, they already know going into it, it's like, hey man, fuck compliance. We're just going to go make money. And it screws the industry. You know what I mean? Because there's those guys that get made. They're like, oh, these guys. It's kind of like with vapes years ago. You know what I mean? Like when everybody cracked down, it wasn't because you were vaping. It's because you were targeting kids. Because the colors, the labeling, the packaging. That's another thing with compliance too. If you're doing it, I'd take a look at your branding. The FDA and the local guys are going to start cracking down on packaging that goes towards kids. Crazy colors, weird brands, weird logos. If it's like the Kool-Aid man looking stoned or whatever, I'd rethink it and repackage. Like if you're doing CBD, the health angle is always good. The wellness angle is always good. Cannabis, listen, we don't need to educate people on cannabis. Just make sure it looks good and make sure that you can build a brand and you've got a good following. And the other thing, when it comes to SEO though, SEO is going to lead the way in traffic. If you run a local business, do you have a maps listing up on your business? So you run a shop, right? Is it like, okay, so do you have a maps listing? Like if I Googled your business right now, would it show me directions to your business? Okay, good. So I've met people that actually dropped 15, 20 grand on billboards and didn't have a maps listing. Just let that sink in for a second. You know what I mean? Like I just dropped 20 grand on billboards. I got my shop and I don't have a location that you can find. I don't even have a website. I'm using Weed Maps for my website.
Why am I not getting foot traffic?
There you go. But that was an actual conversation. I was like, hold up, bro. You're telling me you can't, you don't want to do this, but you spent 15 grand on billboards. So, so the first event we did, I had a lady come up to me, and this was an honest question. She said, why do I need somebody like you if I have a product that everybody wants to buy? Right? And that was the question. She's like, I run a dispensary in a small town, and I work for the city, and we worked it out where they're not letting any other dispensaries come in for 20 miles. I was like, you probably don't need me, right? I just bought billboards off the side of the highway. Cool. Good for you. If I Google your business right now, what do I find? I got a Facebook page. Okay, cannabis goes against Facebook TOS. So Facebook can flag you and take you down anytime. Do you have a website? What's that? Do you have a maps listing? What's that? Are you on Google Maps? What's that? Are you on Apple Maps? What's that? So you just spent money on a billboard on the highway in a state that's about to go legal in a couple weeks. So when everybody drives by and they search cannabis dispensary near me, they're going to drive 20 miles in either direction to find your competitors.
Even if the market's not competitive, you have to have an online presence.
There you go. So I don't know why you would need somebody like me. So eventually it turned into, can you come over to my house on Sunday and meet my husband so we can talk about this because I think we really need your help. But there's a lot of people that get into this space that actually don't understand any of that stuff. They think traditional marketing is going to work, or they can get away with, and this is the thing, I mean, you guys run an agency, like 3/4 of the stuff that you can get away with plumbers, home services, even lawyers, medical stuff, you're not going to be able to get away with in cannabis. You know what I mean? Because every social media platform out there, cannabis goes against TOS. And it's not an if, it's a when. When their social gets shut down, when their IG page gets shut down, when their TikTok gets shut down, when the other thing gets shut down, how are you going to drive traffic? You know what I mean? So you have to be prepared for that, and you should preemptively prep your clients for that as well. If they only have one Facebook page, make sure they got 2. If they've only got one IG profile, make sure they have 3.
The same with the websites.
Yeah, and a backup website too, in case something happens.
I mean, we have, like, as you mentioned about Google My Business, some of our clients, like, they are huge marketplaces that rank. We actually have a script that looks for dispensaries that have traffic, and we rank this our client #1 for this brand that bought a big board.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah. They get even more traffic. in case of like traffic, I would just look. Like I didn't know about this stuff about the compliance. It's actually useful.
Yeah.
Maybe it's some question about like actual ranking and stuff. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Basically, we're starting to prepare for launching an online store. Is there an efficient way to sort of start ranking, or I guess I'm just looking at everything I need to do on the store.
It is.
It's not even indexed at all our website on Google.
Who are you building on? Like what platform? Don't say Wix.
No, it's
I'm not familiar with that. Okay. Okay.
Is there like a square or something?
Don't do Squarespace either. No. So you should also read the terms of service for whoever you're building your website on.
Get recommendations?
I mean, we build on WordPress. I mean, we do self-hosted, like the client gets their own hosting, client gets their own domain. We build on that because Cannabis goes against Wix TOS, goes against Squarespace TOS, and then find a hosting company that's cannabis friendly too. Because and I do know this, even with if you're doing merchant services through Square, because that's one of the easiest payment part. Square's starting to crack down on Delta 8. And you may get a letter, your clients may get a letter saying, hey, you need to take all your Delta 8 products off of your store, off of your website, because we're not going to help you do it. Like I said, this is fast. This is all happening really fast. And it's not happening to everybody, but we've started seeing it with a couple people over the last couple of weeks to where, like, their merchants are telling them they can't. Like, we're going to hold your money for 60 days, 90 days. Remember when PayPal started doing that? Like, we're just going to hold your money? Yeah, Square's starting to do that for D8. So, so start doing your research on it now and have a backup. But you're doing it as a CBD store or
It's like CBD, pretty much like.
okay, so it's a mix. So it's a marketplace kind of. So it's pipes, CBD, I mean gummies, vapes, flour. Okay. My personal recommendation, because the competition right now for CBD, if you haven't done any keyword research on it, fucking outrageous. And I mean, what the last like full-time CBD client, we had a $30,000 a month SEO link building budget, and we were on page one, and that was to stay on page one. So what I'd recommend if you're doing a CBD brand, start building the brand, and start getting one of the things. And this is the cool thing about CBD, and feel free to take this and run with it. Influencer outreach and third-party reviews is going to help you build your brand faster than you trying to rank for CBD. People talking about you, find some people to talk about you, find some people to help drive some traffic. If you have to pay a commission on it, if you have to pay somebody to do an unboxing video and do some content, it's so worth it to do, because you now have somebody else promoting for you, because COVID screwed us all, or at least online shops. Because everybody now, does anybody buy anything without reading at least 10 reviews on a product? Right? What's the first thing you read? The good reviews or the bad reviews? The bad reviews. Okay, so this is something to take into consideration if you're launching a new brand. Send out samples, have a budget for samples, get reviews, get other stuff, get other people talking about it. And then once again, like, because of compliance, you can't use all of their reviews on your own site. So have some sort of thing, but have people talking about your product, because that's one of those things, because CBD is a very competitive market and people do compare prices, they compare products, they compare, does this fit with my lifestyle? Is this who I want to be? Is this the brand I want to support? Because some people are some people are shopping for the cheap stuff. Some people are shopping for the quality. Some people are shopping for the benefits. But the best thing you could do, honestly, is get third-party reviews, get people talking about your product, because that's what's going to help build trust for your brand while you rank, while you do the rest of the work, while you do the content, while you do the other stuff, because that's going to drive traffic and will help you generate some like return on, just ROI on the work that you're doing. Because if you just go into it expecting to only do, well, we got a CBD shop. You know what I mean? On a street where everybody else is a CBD shop, it's going to be really hard. So it's build the brand. I'm sorry, Vic. I talk a lot, bro. Oh, you can still find them. You know what I mean? But I mean, you can still find them. But it's, I mean, there are people that do, I mean, look on YouTube, just look up CBD reviews and start reaching out to them. Look on Instagram and look up, you know, CBD reviews. You can scroll through, and there are plenty of people that's literally all they do. People send them samples, they try them, they go, hey, what's up? This is my channel, blah, 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 check me out. Today we're going to eat whatever, and they'll come back 15 minutes later, oh, man, it felt really good, or man, that shit sucked. They're, like, that's their whole bit. Listen, we're in a weird space right now, just like, as humans, like that's some people's entire business. You know, like I don't want to do shit but review products. Send me free stuff so I can get free stuff. And you know, I gotta say, you'll get the free ones. The free ones are going to be either, oh my god, I never want anybody to see this, or holy crap, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. And then there's a spectrum in between. If you're paying somebody, you can curate what they're doing, how they're saying it, how they're presenting it. You can ask for edits. If it's just a free review, we've had to trash so many free reviews because it's like, yo, I don't want anybody. I mean, it's more of a blooper video, or it's hi, my name is, and we got, and it's good, and it's like nobody's gonna watch this. You know, it's kind of like the weird like first like tryout video for anything. You're just like I can't put this anywhere to use this. So that would just be something I would look into because that's gonna help you build quicker.
Yeah, in Instagram also, like look for the influencers that just do ads in the stories. So it just removes in 24 hours, and they will less likely be screwed after like promoting the stuff.
Yep.
So in case of SEO, just think about first, like when you mentioned like do research before, like we do everything data driven. Like you know, we take actual numbers, like how many links, how much content you need to write, like what's the age of the pages, and like compare domain names and stuff like this, and then you actually can calculate because like sometimes like how like is any people from Leafly or Weedmaps here in this room? Like, okay, how like what's the budget on SEO you think they like spend per month by to drive like 10 million visitors per month?
50,000.
Per month. More. You know, like how can you look? Like, let's see the value of this. Like, let's say their primary traffic source is SEO. Like 70% of all the traffic is SEO. You know, like, and they will do everything just to keep this revenue and get this money from like local dispensaries, brands, and whatever. And you know, the bigger they get, the harder to compete with them. You know, like so. When you go and like before you start the CBD store, just look less competitive keywords because like in most cases, like what I see right now, we don't take like most of our clients to work with because they don't actually
They don't have the budget.
Yeah, they don't have budget first, and they don't actually understand like the value of this stuff because like let's say like this seed store, they can spend like 15 or 20K per month on SEO. But like in 1 year, they can have like from 500 to 1 million revenue per month. You know, like and it's a lot of stores, it's a lot of competitors, a lot of guys who understand, and they come to this market and they know the value of this stuff. So just do research first, or hire someone who will do research for you, and just like don't start before you make sure that that you can afford or this is the right strategy for you.
But also plan on churn. You know, in regards to if you're just a brand new website and your site's not even indexed yet, you're not going to see results. I mean, even if a brand new campaign, you know, generally if you're an established business and we're going in and fixing stuff and you've got good like data and you've got good, you know, and you've got some authority to your site, there's generally a ton of cleanup. There's generally a ton of other stuff. And we tell people it's going to be like, you know, it could be anywhere from 3 to 12 months before you start seeing results from this.
Yeah.
And that's the hard truth about doing SEO for cannabis, doing SEO for CBD, doing SEO for anything. You know, it depends on the authority of it all. And that's why I'm saying, like, build your brand. Like, the best thing you're going to do right now for you to generate some income is to build your brand. And if you can, start, you know, build a brand and get people to know, like, start looking for product, like real small blue raspberry CBD gummies, 250 milligrams. That's more of a buyer search term, you know, because if I'm looking for that, I want to buy that versus best CBD products. Because you're not going to rank for best CBD products if you're just coming out the gate, you know.
We're like the first, yeah.
I mean,
I mean, it's not for sure that you will make sales with these keywords, you know. That's the whole point. But yeah, just look for, like, for example, like, we help one marketplace to consult them, and now they have about 15,000 unique visitors from Google Earth Paying per day. And they wanted to go with the dispensary near me, and we said, like, good luck, guys, you know, like 2-3 years maybe, like, or how big is the budget should be. So they started from reviewing the strains, you know, like, and each strain has like from 10 to 50 to 100,000 search volume per month. And now they get like more traffic, but they have already this audience, and they build this trust like in 2 years, and now of course they can start to try to.
now they got the budget for it to
Yeah.
actually start kicking in. Long tail, I'm a weird SEO when it comes to digital marketing. I look at conversions more than anything because to me, for what we don't do contracts with clients. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want, if they're a pain in the ass, I don't want to work with them for 6 months. If I'm committed to a contract and they're like, it's been 3 weeks, I'm not seeing results. And I'm like, oh my God, this is going to happen for another month. I just don't want to work with you. So we generally look at conversions, you know, what's going to help you make money as quickly as possible. You know, even if it's 10, you know, if you're doing 0 and we start getting you 10 to 20 sales a week, that's better than you going after best CBD products. You know what I mean? Because that's a David and Goliath situation, and versus like, hey, what's going to generate income for you as quickly as possible, so that you can justify the marketing. You know what I mean? So that you can justify the expense for digital marketing, so that you can justify the expense for a team or anything else. But yeah, strain reviews, product reviews, things like that, really good terms to go after. Yeah, I wouldn't like CBD flower, CBD gummy, CBD other stuff. If you haven't been around for 4 or 5 years and you haven't been doing link building for 4 or 5 years and you're not already an established thing, or you're going to burn through your money so fast. If you're actually doing it to where, like, I'm building a brand, I'm building products, I'm building this. And then the other thing too is if you're focusing on doing this, like, start ranking for your own review terms. Seriously. Because you don't want, because one of the funny things that I've always seen is that you get the larger guys. So it's like, oh, look at these guys. They're coming into the space. I'm going to do a review about this new company on my website. And because they've got the power for it, the traffic is going to your competitor's website while they review your product, your brand, your company with a link. Oh, if you don't want to shop from them, we offer great products here too. So they're actually like using your keywords, your brand name to generate revenue for themselves. It happens all the time. So yes, you should definitely own every review around your business possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's for sure. And I will also add, if you like want to make quick moves, like, you know, like as you mentioned, just to drive something, like, it's a lot of options how you can do it. You know, in terms of SEO, you can look for the articles like past something that already ranking and try to like insert in this ranking on this page, so you will get this organic traffic like in 1 week after. Like, but sometimes like those people want a lot of money. You know.
I need a little bit more elaboration on that when you say international companies. Like international manufacturers, international producers, or international, like, we're buying and selling internationally.
International growers, extractors, that have their brands and are able to.
What kind of product? CBD? I haven't, to be honest. I mean, we work with clients coast to coast. I've worked with people overseas before. The time zone sucks. The language barrier sucks. I've had some good experiences, and I've had some nightmare experiences. You know, it depends on it, but it's also like, what can you ship legally across out of?
Well, no, I mean, streamline
Okay. I mean, yeah, like,
Everything is fine, it's just like, you know, when someone's researching, CBD products, there tends to be like this stigma of, watch out for,
oh, I
and
get what you're saying. Like,
places
yeah, yeah.
that go outside, and as an SEO thing, you kind of want to be different and be like, well, look at me, I'm kind of from this place and I'm kind of different in this way, but then you have that backlash on, we don't know where they come from.
Well, there's, so is it indoor, outdoor, and then where's it, I mean, do you want to reveal all these secrets on the thing, or?
Yeah, no.
Okay, so where's it being grown?
We grow in Haiti,
Okay,
and we extract, we're Haitian company.
okay.
We extract, bottle everything, and we send it out to,
And there's no customs feed, there's,
well, we're very,
everything's good.
everything is good, everything's streamlined, I mean, we did all that process. But, and they bottle it here, so we send our end product and we get bottled in FDA, facilities, et cetera. But it's more of like that differentiating factor that we're talking about, that like,
Have you compared your products to anybody else's products that are grown here locally? I mean, quality wise, source wise, like what's the difference? I mean, soil levels, test levels, anything else? And then if you're shipping from Haiti and you're growing in Haiti, is there something you're doing for the people in Haiti to give back to Haiti that like pulls some sort of heartstring to where it's like, I want to support your company? Because that's,
there is.
okay.
There's the very big angle, and I think it's just a matter of, is that my differentiating factor?
That's going to be one. But the other thing is going to be, I mean, there's people that shop quality, you know, and it depends. Once again, it boils down to understanding your target audience. So it's is it flour or is it oil or is it, okay.
It's extracted, I mean, our farm is right next to our extraction facility. It's, you have COAs, you have all that stuff, you're high and everything, like, it's just, that stigma that you're going against.
Are you getting a lot of stigma?
Well,
Or is this a preemptive, like, we think we're going to get stigma, so we want to get ahead of
I
it?
think maybe it's a preemptive.
Okay. So I would get in front of it, honestly. I would get in front of it. It's like, hey, this is what we do. This is where we bottle. This is blah, blah, blah. And because we're doing it here, we're helping the people here. And you're getting the same, if not better quality, if it's, if the tests are, show that.
And you get 4 crops a year, there's different things.
There you go. So there's benefits to that. I would go get ahead of it versus, just, yeah, because this is an industry, like, I mean, this is a very, people will do their research for this. It's kind of like, I mean, it's like health food. It's like other stuff. Like, you're gonna do your research.
Like, you're gonna go find it. If you don't see any reviews, I'm definitely not.
There you go. So I would get ahead of it. And I would make it part of who we are, what we do, how we do, who we serve. And the, what is it, the mission statement, or like, the vision behind it. Do all, kick that in there, and that's going to be like, oh, and they're doing this. So it's like, they're not just, because this is the thing. A lot of people came into this space because it's like, we're just going to make a lot of money. And I can tell you this, the ones that are just make a lot of money companies, they make money, but there's no like brand loyalty to them. You're just like, oh, it's fucking Marlboro. You know what I mean? It's like, it's the brand. It's Coca-Cola. There's no brand. I mean, some people are like, I love Coke, but at the same time, you're like, I prefer, like, I don't shop at Walmart. I prefer to shop at small businesses, support small businesses. I'd rather shop locally for, if I can get I mean, obviously I'm drinking Starbucks here, but, there's no fucking coffee shop in this place. But, but it's like, support local business. There are plenty of people in this space that use these products that would prefer to shop locally, prefer to shop with a business that's doing this, or to shop with somebody that actually resonates with their values or their beliefs or whatever. So if you're giving something back and you're helping people and the quality is good and it's all this, get ahead of it. Don't try to hide it. Get ahead of it. Be very obvious about it. And it's like, hey, I don't know what. Yeah, own it, and just get it. And it's like, hey, we're helping to build homes, we're helping to build schools, we're helping to do this, we're giving money to this. There you go. These guys are working year round versus now they're not. Before they couldn't, because they're. This is the thing. It's like, this is an industry where we can help a lot of people. So be honest about it. Be upfront about it. That's for the other. I'm doing a massive caveat in everything I say. If this doesn't work, don't blame me. Okay. Yeah, but Max said, it's like, no, man, I was on a paddle. I was trying to help. I usually start off each presentation with that. It's like, if I've ruined your life, don't blame me. Because this shit changes fast. So
I would add that we have clients, they have in Germany, like, they operate in German market, but they have plants in Macedonia, where all this stuff, and they say in Germany that where they actually produce this stuff, and it gives them even more benefits, because as Mike said, like about the community, how they support, like, I mean, it's like for me, like if I'm from Ukraine, I can't just hide and say, hey, look, I'm like I was here. No, like this is my story, this is your story, this is other people's story. As long as you're transparent and you just like, you can use it to your benefits, just and like build this loyalty, through your like potential customers and stuff. So yeah. I would just be like this because like our agency has like different branches, like 'cause we have a lot of people, and as when you ask like what's the biggest pain, it's people, and and like some of branches we try to say that we are American or we are Australian, like it just doesn't work. Just be honest, like what you do, it helps. Like,
yeah,
yeah, it's like
you could tell. You know what I mean? You could tell who's being genuine and who's not. And what's cool is if you've already got your farms there, do you have footage of the farmers? Do you have footage of people growing there? Do you have footage of the process? Do some sort of media with that. Just be like, hey, we've helped create 500, jobs in Haiti. We've helped create, whatever. We've helped feed 10,000, whatever it is, that helps with that. That helps build that brand. And that's just like, oh, these guys are doing something good. I'm willing to try them. I'm willing to test this now versus like, hey, get fucked up, because I've seen both sides of the spectrum, and I feel like people are going to resonate more with a company that's going to help people, that's actually going out of their way to do something that somebody's not doing, and solving problems and doing all this other stuff. And you could get international press from that. If you haven't hit press, oh, dude, like, you have something that nobody else is doing. You can get press, you can get write-ups, you can get, I know that there are international newspapers. And this is the thing with it, like, you may get some backlash. Like, once you get known, like, that's going to happen. You know what I mean? So be prepared for that as well. But at the same time, it's like you can easily get, like, you could say, hey, CBD company helps create blah, blah, blah. There's a way to spin it. But yeah, you can get good press from that. I'm sure that there are plenty of people that would be like, you guys have helped this community, you guys have helped this city, you guys have helped this, both locally and nationally, and potentially internationally, from that standpoint. And that tiers you from we're a CBD oil company to we're now some sort of, there you go, but that shifts the entire angle of everything.
And it makes you a link builder.
Oh God! It's organic link building. And people are linking to you because it's like, have you heard about this company? People are sharing your stuff because they now resonate with this. I don't even buy CBD products, but I really want to. This is a really good thing that you're doing for this. Yeah, I grew up in Jersey. I grew up with a ton of Haitians. Like, they love when somebody goes in and helps the community. You know what I mean? So, sac passe. Anyway.
No, it's a Haitian family also.
Oh, dude. Yes. No, but it is. It's a community thing, and this is the thing with it. It's like, own it. Don't try to own it. And if you're helping a family, run with it. Oh my God. Yeah.
no, that's just the way like they're getting more traffic out of the brands that don't care about the brand, like doing SEO. Like, for example, like what Max was saying, like if you have a local store, like, and let's say you have Google My Business, let's say you have even Apple My Business, it's also like terms of and conditions, like it also can be deleted, but like federally. But let's say like you also can look like website that review your brand and stuff. So when you own your brand name, like in like top 10 of Google, it can be like different social pages, different review pages and stuff. That's better because what I'm as SEO interesting, how to get this traffic cheaper. You know, like if it's a big product like Leafly, I like, okay, this is the list of 100 brands. Let's like do like pages with 500 words content and just outrank them because of the trust. And we will build a couple links on these pages and we'll outrank you